Hello, welcome to Los Devils, California. My name is Hannah, and today I'm joined by Hvnted. Hey guys, how are you?
What's going on?
Wow, the most excited sound ever. Whoa! They all took a Xanax before they came over. Holy moly, how are you guys?
Fantastic.
Hanging out.
Chilling.
Vibing.
Having a good time.
Nice. I love to hear that. So for any of our listeners who are not familiar with you guys, let's go around one by one. Introduce yourselves and let us know, or let them know what you do in Hvnted.
Start with the most important.
Yeah.
I'm Jack. I play bass.
I'm Seamus. I play drums.
I'm Abe. I play guitar.
And I'm Will, and I sing.
Very, very cool. And how did you guys find each other?
Oof.
Is that a source
Yeah,
of
so
just...
that's gonna be a Seamus Will thing because they're gonna talk for hours on that.
I met Jack in middle school. He was a grade below me. He was my brother's friend. And basically, long story short, when we needed a bassist, he was like, "Oh, I'll fill in," because he was kind of learning guitar.
Fill in.
And he ended up being like the guy, because I feel like personality and like, you know, dynamic is better than any kind of playing, in my opinion. And he's done great so far.
Yeah.
I met Seamus because Seamus is in another band, and we played some show, and I went out into the audience with the mic, and this is when I still played guitar in the band. Yeah, and
The cat's here.
and I didn't have enough time to make it back to the stage, so I made some random person in the audience hold the mic. So there's a video
And that
somewhere
was me.
of Seamus holding the
And
mic.
this was at the time where we were in high school and dabbing was like the biggest thing
He
ever.
dabs in the video.
So I dabbed like 9 times in it. It's fucking
You
awesome.
look like you
Do we
dabbed
swear?
in high school. Yes.
Okay, sick.
Yes.
Okay,
Did you guys not
Oh,
watch
true.
the Against
Yeah,
the
that's fair.
Sun
Yeah,
podcast?
that's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah,
Bleeped
let it
out.
rip, guys. Wow. That's insane.
It's interesting.
So I was his mic stand, and then I was in another band, and I just randomly ran into you guys at AMP.
Yeah, there's a
One time.
rehearsal space that
Yeah.
a lot of these bands that we were working kind of with the same people. It was like it wasn't even like a management thing. It was just some weird. We were working
No, it
with
was
people.
just a coincidence.
And they were like after us. So as we were walking out, I saw him and I was like, "Oh, dude, it's you. You know, you play drums,
Yeah.
blah blah blah, whatever." And shortly later, to be honest, I think my dad reached
It
out.
was in 2017. His dad emailed my dad and was like, "Hey, my son's band is rebranding, and we're doing drummer and bass auditions. Would your son want to audition?" And that audition was weird. I show up to it, and the guitarist at the time, he lived in like Long Beach, basically. But he didn't have a car, so he would have to Uber. And so this dude showed up 2 hours late. But
So we were just hanging out.
so yeah, but Declan, that was his name. He was he texted Will being like, "Hey, when the new drummer comes in, like show him all the songs that when I get there, it's just like we can just immediately start working." But Will and I were just chopping it up the entire time.
You're like, yeah.
And Declan shows up kind of like frantically, and he's like, "All right, let's start running the." And Will's like, "Oh." Well, I didn't teach him anything.
Yeah.
So I had to learn the songs as we were playing them.
Yep.
Which I feel like was a good test.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you
What
can
I
do that
could
pretty
do.
easily.
You won.
I did.
And then Abe was just, we were part of the rock collective, and Abe was in another band, and we were looking for a guitarist, and I think you were in the kind of just, oh, I'll try out.
Yeah, I just so they parted ways with their previous guitarist.
Yeah.
There was a couple of guitarists they went through, I think, and so I didn't know any of them. Marshmallow's freaking
Marshmallow's
out.
going
What's he
nuts
doing?
on
I
your
hear him.
fucking
What's he
shoes.
doing?
I was watching it, but
He was
is he-
eating Will's shoes.
he was
Sorry.
like he was like
He-
going over in your
He
shoe.
loves
It was
stinky
like
shoes.
Yeah.
putting his head in the shoe, and then the shoe like bumped him, and he flipped out and like ran to the
They're alive.
Oh God, he's
to the couch. Yeah, that's hilarious. No, you're good.
That's like
That was funny.
hilarious. Oh my god.
All right, Jack. I'm gonna you know what? Edit like just half of his face out of the video.
Yeah, the entire time.
Yeah, the entire time.
Just put a super ugly filter on
Yeah.
just him. Like, why does he look?
Censor his face.
Put like a
doing that,
caveman
you creep.
filter on Jack the whole time. But yeah, I saw Seamus had posted about wanting a guitarist, and in the previous band I was in, we weren't really doing much. And I really just wanted to get out and play shows and stuff, and just, you know, I had a whole other guitar rig and stuff that I wanted to try out live, and so yeah, I just hit up Seamus. I'm like, I'll jam with you guys. Like, let's just see how it goes. And yeah, showed up to rehearsal, and we like, he goes running up again, dude. So
Sorry.
funny. That's funny. And no, we chopped it up literally the first day we were in there. Like, we had another guitarist. His name is Shy. We love him. He moved out to Austin, but we still keep in touch with him, and he's such a cool guy.
You know, there's just certain vibes that like, or certain like humor or whatever. Like you know, you got to test the waters with people, you know, to see where people stand and stuff like that. But we're all super chill. Like we're, you know, we're accepting of everybody. We're this, you know, we're happy with everything. But Abe comes in, he's like, let's fucking test this shit, and starts ripping these jokes.
Oh my god,
so funny. But this guitarist we had at the time who was going to be playing with Abe, we didn't know if like. He was still new. We didn't know where the vibe stood. So Abe coming in and doing that, like it was a test for both guitarists, and it worked out. It was like perfect. Everything was just fine.
That's luck. That is luck right there.
It was super funny. But you know, I'm not gonna. We didn't say anything. It was funny jokes, and and Shy had a good head about it. Maybe he didn't really understand what I was saying.
He's just like, yeah.
He was just like, yes,
exactly.
No, I don't do that. I'm
Dude,
like,
he was like, that was a badass.
yeah, he was cool.
He was awesome.
He's cool. He's a really good guy. And but yeah, after that, joined the band, meshed really well, and you know, played all the songs. I mean, they were relatively simple to get a hold of, and yeah, it was just like super chill. I mean, like,
easy.
No,
Songs are
they were so fucking easy. I mean, like, I didn't have to do shit. I mean, I pretty much, like, it was just, you know, hand fed to me. But no, yeah, it was a good time, and so every time we went to rehearsal, it was just always like super fun. It was like,
yeah,
like
you're looking for a hangout session is really what it is, and then through Abe coming in, it really became, we'd have to start going, okay, we actually like have to practice. You know, like we actually have
put a
to
muzzle on this one. We gotta get it done.
Dude, we would just talk. There was one rehearsal where me and Will were talking about aliens for like an hour.
In the middle of the set. They were running the set. They started talking about aliens.
We went from aliens to time travel to like parallel universes, and then Seamus just goes,
All right, the next song.
So next song.
We
So
had
we're
3
still
more
here.
songs. Like,
Yeah.
come on, let's just do this.
Oh my god.
It was literally like we had played like 3 songs, and then there's a part in the set where we stop and like we're tuning our guitars, and we tuned up, and then Will just goes like, yeah, you know,
These
like,
like
there's these crazy like
Florida mall
UAP
thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The what?
Remember
Aliens were
when
spotted
like
at a mall in Florida.
there was something that
Mall in
happened at
Florida.
a mall in Florida, and then like the entire city's like police department like surrounded
Dude, it was crazy.
the mall,
Yeah.
What?
and people reporting
that
seeing
recent?
It was like
Yeah.
100% of the city's like police force was like
people
on a
reporting
block.
seeing
It
tall
was
aliens,
wild.
like tall dark figures, just walking around and observing, and then
Yeah.
people are like, oh, it was
So
just
there
some
was-
kids
so there- I
causing
think there
trouble.
was 2 or 3 like tall, like 10-foot tall things.
But like,
walking
you know
around
what I
the
mean?
mall.
If there's kids causing trouble, I don't think you call the whole city.
They were
police
just
department.
excited. Like, oh, I want to
Dude,
go
you
see
should
the
see the
aliens.
video. The whole
Literally,
block
yeah,
is
like
like
video
it's
was
like
wild.
50 cop cars minimum.
It's really crazy.
Yeah, and it's like it's you know, like when you look at 405 traffic like on the news copter during Thanksgiving,
Yes.
it's like that but on a city street.
That's what I watch on Thanksgiving.
I actually know what you're referring
You're
to.
getting a coffee and you see the news and you're like, oh, it's like
Coffee. That's so specific.
Okay.
Is this like your
Alright, fine.
annual
You're getting your nails
celebration?
Chewing you
done,
out.
or you're buying socks at the store. I don't know, like, you know, and you see like the news on the
Abe's the most
TV.
relatable, unrelatable person I know.
You know, like it's like exposition in your life, and it's like
Yes.
It's like saying you're on tour, and when people are like, "What are you doing right now?" You're like, "Buying shampoo."
I'm just like, because I'm trying
just
to
like,
keep
it going.
I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hunted practice.
Yeah, I know.
This is
God.
what happens.
yeah. But yeah, aliens, and then we were talking about that, and vowed it.
What was the point of this?
I don't remember.
I forget the
Sick.
question, to be
I
honest.
was asking.
Oh, yeah, how we
So
all
that's
joined
how
the
you
band.
joined the band.
So that's how I joined the band.
Yeah.
And now every rehearsal is more like a hangout than a rehearsal,
Nice.
and it's so funny. We'll like do different versions of our own songs.
We have tickle
Oh
fights.
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
Really?
It's fucking sick.
I
We have
hate
tickle
that.
fights all the time.
that's not
No,
true.
I'll walk in
hate
and
that.
Abe's like napping because he just drove from
Oh my
forever
God.
away.
He's the deepest sleeper of anybody.
Oh,
So I bought
Good for
a
you.
To preface with this, I'm talking like I walked into rehearsal, and you know our merch, like our shirts and stuff like that. He pulled out like 5 shirts to use as a blanket to get comfortable on our couch. And
You
So
should
if
literally-
you buy
Those for
those shirts,
extra.
I wore them like I actually wore them.
Technically.
I've literally
Technically, I wore
walked
them.
in. He's been knocked out on our couch, and I've laid my bass case on him as
Oh my
like
God.
a fucking blanket for him. And
You guys should do that as like a bit, like see how many things you can stack on him.
We really
Yeah.
should.
No, there was.
Pretend
I
you
bought
didn't
a
hear
new
that.
drum kit recently, and there was a time he was helping me like tune it up and get it like dialed in. I was like playing as loud as I can for an hour straight.
Abe's snoring.
Phase. Like we literally had to like, Abe, wake up, and he's like, "Huh? What's up?"
You would definitely back in the day before like modern medicine and you would definitely be one of those people that got buried alive because
Oh,
you were
yeah.
sleeping. You'd be
Yeah,
scratching
that would be
and
that would be
coughing.
pretty bad. I would have to, I'd turn into an earthworm at that point. Just start eating.
I'll
dirt
tell
or
you exactly what you'd do. You'd be in that box and be like, help, I'm stuck. And then you'd be like, is this mahogany? And you'd be like, the funny thing about mahogany is, and he'd just start talking to himself for 6 hours until his death about
Runs out of
mahogany.
oxygen
Yeah.
immediately. Good God.
Yeah.
Well, that's and you haven't been in Hunted a super long
been
time, right? 'Cause
about
I
a
feel like
year.
has
Yeah,
it?
Coming up on a year, yeah.
I feel like when I
Feels
first
like it's like 3
met
months.
you, yeah, at that house warming thing.
Oh, yeah,
what
yeah,
was
the
that?
house
Why
party.
was I
That was
there?
thing.
Yeah,
That was
you
Jack's
know,
thing.
a housewarming party. My girlfriend's family moved.
What was the house
Celebrate.
You were
No,
there
Jack's-
too.
at Jack's-
Where we did Send Me On My Way.
Oh,
Yes.
On the putting green.
Yeah.
On the putting green.
Yeah. That was fun, but I literally was like, why am I here? Because your dad was like, oh yeah, they're playing.
It's so weird.
Scared. Oh my god.
I was like,
Oh my
Jessica,
God.
we have to get out of here.
Well,
She was like,
think
what?
of her situation, bro. Like, she doesn't know anybody there. She like barely really knows
Yeah.
us as far as she could throw us. We're like, hey, come to our bassist girlfriend's house.
But I
for a
wasn't even
private
told
show.
that. It was we were at the Smell, and your dad was like, "Oh yeah, they have another show tomorrow. You should go." And I was like, "Sure." And so that was the thing. I said, "Sure," and then he told me what it was, and I was like, "Well, I can't." Be
You're already
like,
locked in.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, never mind," because that's rude.
You're
but I
meeting
was
the
like,
family already.
"Yeah," I was like, "Oh, okay, like house show," and he was like, "No, it's like a family get together." I was like, "Oh,
Nice,
okay."
tight.
And we roll up, and we see people getting out of the car with gifts. And I'm like, Jessica, I can't be here right now. Like, these people are gonna be like, why is this girl in my house? And she was like, it's fine. I was like, we can't walk in with no gift. I don't know who the gift is for. I don't know if it's a birthday. I don't know, but we gotta leave. So we
I
went and
was the
came
gift. I
back with
walked in there, I was like,
champagne.
I'm the gift.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not me. So we came back with champagne. And then they start singing happy birthday to a very young looking girl. And I'm like, did I just buy
Whose
alcohol
birthday?
for a
I didn't know it was-
minor?
There was
It was
like
Medina.
There was like
It was
2
Medina.
birthdays
Yeah,
that
There was
ended,
so
like,
much
it was
happening.
weird.
The dog fell in the pool.
Completely
Oh,
That was so funny.
There was so
that
much
guy,
happening.
that guy was like the Tom Cruise. I don't know who that guy is. Yeah, that guy was like the guy should get an Oscar.
Yeah,
honestly.
he dove. No
Because
hesitation.
I think
He
fully
dove in
clothed.
there, but the way he dove was like the most dive. It was just like he did one of these. He's like, "Oh, the Frenchie fell in," and then he goes, "Ah," and he jumps in like.
It's very graceful.
The funniest thing was that like their family is like the most chill family like I can think
Shout
of.
out
So like
Dane.
I don't and I think it's even funnier that you probably thought that it was like someone at the house's like birthday, like it was like part of the family.
Was
or
it
something.
not? I still
No,
don't.
it was some random friend.
It was a random friend.
Yeah.
No idea. We weren't planning on doing a happy birthday thing, but it happened.
Yeah.
Did you notice the turtle like in the corner?
Yes.
It was like a giant tortoise.
I did like a full pet tour.
Jazz is awesome.
Yeah.
Love jazz.
That was very fun though. I had a great
Yeah.
time. Great food. Great
Yeah.
vibes.
I remember when you and Jessica showed up there, and like Will said, is like you'd look at their situation. And I was thinking they probably don't know anyone here.
Yeah.
So that's why I was talking to you guys, and I was like, yeah, okay, we'll both make new friends today.
Yeah.
So
Thank you for
yeah,
that.
I'm just
Yeah.
I'm
You
I'm
seem
an outwardly
very
thinking
privileged
person.
to be a part of that.
Yeah.
No, that was very fun. Okay, reeling it back. So I want to hear from each of you about what made you want to do music. Like, was there a specific song, artist, performance that had kind of put the light bulb on that you're like, I gotta make music, man.
Am I starting?
You
Am
first, yeah.
I'm starting? Oh, okay. Will. I don't know. Literally, I did not listen to music really. I didn't play any instruments. And then obviously I'm friends with Will, so I go to all his shows.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, he gets bitches. So I was like,
I was 16 or 15 years old, mind you, when this was happening.
So I was like, it, I'll listen to like Green Day and stuff. And
Yeah.
then I was like, okay, I think I want to learn guitar. So I just asked him to teach me stuff.
Cool.
and then I liked it, so I just stayed with it. And
Love
yeah,
that.
Marshmallow just winked at us.
Is there a specific Green Day song that you love?
yeah. The one that I learned was what's it called? Good Riddance.
Oh yeah, Time of Your Life.
Time of Your
Classic.
Life. You know,
Yeah.
simple, easy.
Rip it, Will. Rip
Yeah.
it. Sing it right now.
Yeah, all right.
Da-na-na-na. I love that song. I love Green Day.
The acapella.
Bound it down now.
Yeah, people like do not know that he says "f*** there.
Yeah.
Like I know
Really?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
played on like
Yeah.
national radio, and
it's like whispered under his breath, but it's there.
I think it's because he
Because
loses
he
time, right?
f***ed up. Because he f***ed up. Because
And he starts over.
Well, yeah.
And then he starts
I don't think he
over.
said it because he was like, God, that was a great take.
Yeah.
Well, the song doesn't start off like bound or down. It was supposed to start off with just bound
Down,
or down, but he messed up twice.
Do you guys know what that song's about?
No.
No, but it's at every single high school graduation. So
Yeah,
True.
but it is actually like a hate song. It's not like meant to be like a cute love song. It's about his girlfriend who was really, really like smart and like went to Berkeley, and he was this like punky kid.
He's
who
a
just-
skater boy.
Yeah, he was. And he thought
Damn,
she was
Avril
like so
Lavigne.
smart and cool. And she like taught him all these things about like the world and like feminism. And he was like, wow, you're so smart. And then one day she was like, yeah, I'm breaking up with you and I'm going to go do service work like in another country. Bye. And that's what that song is about. He was like, I hope you have the time of your life.
Women.
But everybody's like, oh, am I right? Yeah. So that's what that's about. Okay. Seamus, what was your moment?
When I was young, because I've been playing drums for about 12, 13 years now, but it was when I was younger, I was like strictly an athlete. Like I was
What did you
I was a
do?
really good baseball player.
Nice.
But like I kind of played football and basketball, but like baseball was like the main thing.
Yeah.
But I've like have horrible shoulder problems now. Like I have like a torn rotator cuff. Like lots of is bad about it. But I remember my parents had a friend, or like my mom's best friend lives up in San Francisco, but they have a house in Sonoma, and there was a drum kit there. So I just kind of messed around on it. My dad was like, "You want to take lessons?" And I was like, "All right, sure." So I did, and I got pretty good at it. And then I learned that I could like get the same like activeness of sports without hurting myself. So I was like,
Don't
let's
forget
try
the anger release.
Oh yeah, and I'm an angry person, so like drums is a really good way to control that.
Are you
know?
actually, or is that like
Yeah.
a joke?
Yeah.
It's
he
Yeah.
is. I only
of the hair accident.
Yeah,
What?
that's when it started happening.
What do you mean?
You've seen Inside Out?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
so
the red
you know
guy.
anger, like when he gets mad, it's literally like flame head.
God.
Yeah,
You know
they
what's-
say he's ginger, but he's not ginger.
I'm not.
Are you not? Are you just
No,
blonde?
I'm not.
Look at him.
I don't know. No, you're like a strawberry blonde. I don't know. Are you
yeah.
blonde?
Like,
Do I
not even
identify as a
strawberry
blonde?
That's like regular
yes.
blonde.
I feel like you have a little strawberry.
Yeah, you know.
There's a
I-
hint
it's-
of it, but
it's
there's
like
a
a
difference
mango
between a
blonde.
strawberry blonde and a ginger.
Yes.
So when I think ginger, I'm like,
Yes.
that's straight orange.
Yeah, and you don't have like freckles and stuff. And
Exactly.
I will say that a lot of people who are blonde, we think of them as blonde because they bleach their hair from your color. You know, I know, but I feel like the word blonde has been shifted because
Yeah.
of how much people bleach their hair to
True.
be like what
Will.
blonde is.
Yeah.
Yeah, bleaching
Yeah.
ass mother. Okay. You know what's funny? So I actually literally, I think today, I looked up angry drummer, and guess what the top result was? You. A video of you came up. It was the one where you threw your stick at the snare.
Oh, and I got in
and
the
went up.
ceiling?
And I was like, yeah, of
That was
course.
a magical moment.
That was nuts.
That was sick.
It was in that
I remember
ceiling
that.
for like a week.
Yeah, how'd you get it down?
Yeah.
You throw
It just
stuff?
it just
fell.
fell down at
Oh.
a certain point.
Yeah,
Makes
we were rehearsing and it fell on top of him. But that was like right along, like that was about the same time I joined the band. Because then he was like, check this out. Like, this is what happened. And you show us the video and you're like,
Yeah.
and it's stuck up there. And then you have a video of you showing the,
You can hear it go into the ceiling too, which is sick.
God.
and then,
It's
and then
awesome.
We're rehearsing like that day too. And then like the vibrations, like,
Just loosened it and then it just hit me
It's
in
like
the
an
head.
icicle. You're like looking at it.
Yeah.
just go
Exactly.
straight
Yeah,
down.
I
Yeah.
have brain damage from it, but it's cool. It's fine.
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, Seamus does have a little bit of a hot spot, but it's good. Like,
Yeah,
a
it makes
great
you a
time.
great drummer.
He's
Yeah,
a sweetheart
exactly.
inside.
Gives you
I
that
channel
extra oomph.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and get the rage out in a controlled environment. Nobody gets
Nice.
hurt
Except
except for when Will pisses me off and I attack him. But-
It's natural because I'm gonna bring up the birthday thing. It's completely natural this happens.
oh my!
the
because
birthday.
we're the same age, but
Uh-huh.
I'm like
He's
2 days
2 days
older.
older than me, and he always calls me little brother.
And
Like,
it
It's
genuinely
so
bothers
it-
you.
I hate it.
funny.
Oh
It's
my
so-
God.
you know why
I
it's
hate
funny
it.
though? You know why? The only reason why I do it because it actually gets to
Because it
him.
I know.
actually
Yeah,
pisses me off.
just don't react.
That's not in my fucking nature to
Do
make
you have
that
siblings?
happen.
There's nothing you
I
can
have
do.
yeah. I have an older sister and I have a half sister.
Are they
Still the
angry
little
or
bro.
scared of
They get fired up. Audrey, yeah, my sister Audrey, she can get angry, but like, I don't know, she's much more of like a talker than I am, so she'll just kind of like talk her shit out. Where I'm just
Yeah.
like, I gotta break something.
Dude, Audrey, like, I worked a summer job with these guys, a part-time summer thing, and Audrey was dealing with this like really person because she works as like, what is it?
Retail, basically.
yeah, like a retail
Oh,
booth
yes.
or something. And I forget what happened specifically. I think this person was like having a baby fit, and their sister was like, "Oh, you can have your fit somewhere else" or something like that. And I was like, "You did that,
Honestly,
Audrey?
She
All
doesn't
right,
mess
hell yeah."
around.
Good for her.
Like,
Yeah,
no.
no, seriously. And I was like, okay.
She's so funny though.
Yeah.
She's actually one of the. I think she's actually. I tell her this every time I see her. I think she's one of the funniest people I know. She's actually so fun. Like she'll just say something. It's not even like she's trying to joke or like mess with. She'll say something and you're just like.
I love people like
Yeah,
that.
it's funny.
I'm
Yeah.
amazed by people like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
how did you even just think of that? But it's like they don't. It's just how they are.
It's all just,
Yeah.
but it's not even like it's like random stuff. Like it's
Yeah.
clever things. Like it's
Yeah.
things that I'm like, oh, I literally never thought about that before.
Yeah.
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's funny.
And that-
What
Your
was the
turn.
question again?
How'd you get into music?
Yeah.
Oh, how do we get into? How
Is
do I
there a
get into music?
song? performance?
I started playing violin first.
Really?
Yeah.
No, you
yeah,
did.
Yeah, violin.
Bullshit.
Can you still play?
I'm pretty sure I can still play.
Next Hvnted song.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, I started playing violin, then went from violin to piano and classical guitar, and then took that into electric guitar. But I learned all of like my music theory and stuff with violin at like a very young age, and how to count and all that stuff. And then I just really liked, I tried playing violin to like a rock song as a kid, and I was like, this sucks. I was like, this is not cool.
It is cool. People do that.
Oh, people do that now.
Bro was
No
playing
shame.
violin to Back in Black and
Yeah.
that was fire.
Yeah, no. So, not throwing shade to anybody who plays in a rock band with a violinist or fiddler or whatever you
Lindsay
call it.
Sterling's like, you bitch.
I don't even know who that is. Sorry.
Wasn't she at NAMM?
Yeah, we saw her at
Hey, I'm
NAMM.
Thanos, and you're Scarlet Witch, and I'm like, I don't even know who you are.
What?
Does anyone get that reference?
I know who
He
those
just
people
says
are.
sometimes.
I know who both those people are, but what? Do they not know who each other are?
Wait, are you talking about the movie or?
Or what?
you?
What's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
alternative?
So in the movie, like Scarlet Witch goes and she says to Thanos, like past Thanos,
No.
like she goes up to past Thanos from 2014, and she goes, "You took everything from me
Oh,
he
her
like
brother.
he killed her.
What?
Killed not her brother, killed her like lover, killed Vision.
Oh, Vision. But
Yeah.
her brother too. Who killed
yeah.
him? He
Oh,
got
yeah.
shot.
Her brother died in a.
But she died in.
He got
Yeah,
shot
he
up.
just got shot.
And
He's also
Wait,
meant to be
what
the
happened to
fastest
Vision?
thing
I
alive.
can't
It's like,
remember.
how do you get shot?
How did
Well,
Vision
he's
die
sick.
again? I don't. Did
He
he?
He got
the-
the
soul
stone ripped out
Yeah.
of his
Oh
head.
yeah. Oh
stone
god.
ripped out of his head, and then and
Shout
she's
out
like,
Paul
"You took
Bettany."
everything from me," and then
Yeah.
and then Thanos goes,
did.
"I don't even know who you are," and I remember everyone laughing at that.
Oh, that's
in the movie
rude.
theater. Yeah, he goes, "I don't even know who you are," and but I don't even know who she is. So sorry. I'll listen to everything on Spotify tonight. But yeah, I started off on violin, and I played like violin to Back in Black, and I was like, this sucks, and I need to do something cooler. And I remember my dad had like an acoustic guitar or something, and I started playing it. And
With
then
the
a
bow?
couple, yeah, with the bow. Actually, I did.
I've actually seen somebody do that.
Yeah.
With an electric guitar though.
Kinda
Yeah.
cool.
No, I did that with
Jimmy
with the
Page
guitar.
did that.
Yeah. I did that. And then I got an electric guitar. I built an electric guitar when I was like 14.
Wow.
Yeah. So I entered into this battle of the bands, and if you win, you get like this cash prize.
Was that the
Yeah.
video I saw? In the car, I just can't wait.
Oh
Is
no,
it
no,
that
that
one?
was much later.
Oh,
No.
wow.
Oh.
But that was in college. But So I did this battle of the bands. Our band won, and I got like $150 or something.
Congrats.
And so
What's
I
that
bought.
like?
I know, right? sorry that I have like a better record than like my main band at winning battle of the bands.
Damn.
All right, so this is part 2 of Abe
part
discovering
2,
music.
Me discovering music. So I bought a pickup with that money, a guitar pickup, and then I bought everything else on like eBay for like $3 a piece. It's like a really cheap body and a neck, and put it all together. And I played that thing all the way through college.
What?
Yeah, I played all that guitar all the way through college until I got my first job, and then bought myself a brand new guitar.
What kind of guitar was it?
It was a Kramer Pacer, which is like a Strat style guitar.
Nice.
But yeah, so that's how I got into music.
Very cool.
Really, yeah. There's no songs. It was like everything. I just liked everything.
Well, I did
I've
ask.
never been inspired by a song.
Well, like there was an artist that inspired me, but not like a
Who?
specific song.
oh,
I guess, like,
don't ask that, please.
What?
Led Zeppelin, so Jimmy Page, Eddie Van Halen, Jimi Hendrix, those type of guitarists. Tom DeLonge was like a huge influence on me as a kid.
Nice. What's
Or
wrong
Blake.
with that?
Because he won't stop. If you ask him about that, he will talk about that for
That's
3
why I
hours
asked.
straight.
I've had
don't even
6
get to
birthdays
practice
through
that.
this question.
Yeah. Will is 30 years older now.
Yeah.
No, these guys are so mean to me. You know?
I mean, I feel like you guys are all a little mean to each other.
and
No
So it
way.
evens
Out of
out.
everyone on this bed, you're complaining about people being mean to you in the band.
Son.
Poor Jack.
yeah, but nobody really cares about Jack's like feelings.
Go ahead, wrap up your story, Abe.
That's it. That's all I have to say.
Really?
Yeah,
You putting a period in that
I'm
sentence?
putting a period in that sentence.
All right. Jack, what is wrong with you? What just happened?
I don't know what's going on over there.
All right, Will, how did you get into music?
What happened?
Nothing.
What is going on?
Nothing. Good times. Just vibe.
I don't know, dude.
Well, I got into music. My grandpa is a composer, and he did music for a living. And when I was a kid, he wanted me to take like piano lessons, and I did not like it. It
Yeah.
was horrible. In fact, my mom would drop all 3 brothers off at this piano place. And this poor lady, we would fight in her house and like destroy.
That was like me and my sister.
There'd be like 2. She had 2 pit bulls.
Oh.
And like, you know, like you'd think like, oh, you know, pit bulls around kids, but we scared the shit out of these pit bulls. Like the pit bulls would like run away from us and stuff. So, dude, it was so.
Dude.
I was
Ew.
imagining his brothers like literally plotting to.
No, we would never. We just get there and be like, ooh, you know, with the dog. But took piano lessons. My friend wanted to start a band, and I learned guitar. I didn't want to sing. I had no interest in singing, and I only wanted to play rhythm guitar because I only like the idea of like songwriting. I was like shredding and all that stuff is so dumb. Like I have no interest in doing that. So,
Shredding is so dumb.
I liked songwriting.
What a
That's
thing
what I
to
like.
You've
say.
been chosen.
I know.
Yeah.
And what's funny is now, I mean, times have gone on. I've been in and out of bands, a lot of different, you know, rotations of people. And then there was a point in time where, you know, my parents were always really supportive. And if I need, like, you know, that's how I got like my first guitar, stuff like that. They would buy it for me and stuff like that. And then there was a point where my dad was like, "Hey, so I think like you should probably like sing, like you should just try and sing." And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Okay, well, I'm not going to support you anymore if you don't." So, you know, and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." So I sang one time. It was awful, like horrid. Yeah, like really bad. And he was like, "This is really good." And I'm like, "No, it wasn't." But, you know, we kept going,
Nice of him, though.
got some lessons. And then I realized that it's kind of nice having all the attention. So I I stopped wanting to play. You know, I stopped wanting to play guitar just because when I was singing on stage, I was like, I'm anchored to the middle of the. I can't go anywhere. So that's why we started getting 2 guitarists and everything, and
Wow.
that's really it.
Shout out to your dad, dude.
I know.
Jeez.
Mad respect, David.
Yeah.
Sir Swanson.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
really said,
Yes.
hold this. I'm going to... Marshmallow, sorry. If he starts chewing on your cords, stop him. Okay, so for anybody who is now like realizing that they want to start pursuing music, what would be you guys' advice?
Don't.
Are you at the very beginning? Like very beginning?
And not necessarily even like a kid, but somebody who like maybe is already like has like an instrument and they're like, okay, I want to like do this like for realsies.
I think you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I think the first thing I feel like there's a few steps, and we're still on the journey, you know. But I feel like the first thing is like just put time into it, get to a point where you can, you know, like
don't be afraid to be bad at it.
Yeah,
because you're gonna be bad at it for a really long time.
That's true.
And then it'll kind of
Yeah, Jack is terrible, but he puts
it's like
but he tries his darndest.
100% in every time.
no, it's like, you know, when you like have you guys ever like got a pet or something and then you go away and you come back and you like somehow feel like it grew?
Yeah,
it's like that, but with like you're horrible until you're not.
Yeah.
And then at some point, like with the stage we're at in a band, like the part we're on is, believe it or not, is get out of LA. Like it's, you know, like anyone can go into any club down here and see any band.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, it's always nice to play around because there's a chance someone might be there to see you. But the truth is that kind of like, you know, no one's going to like make your life happen for you. You know, you've got to do stuff. So like we just played in Phoenix, and Arizona is like a big, like they love rock out there. So we go out there and we pull, you know, 2 to maybe 4 times the engagement that we would in LA.
Which is wild because you guys pull huge crowds. Like when you guys were at Magic Meows, I had to go outside. I was I can't do this
There were
right
so many
now. I
people
got to
there.
get out of here. I'm gonna explode.
You're welcome.
As far as inspiration for music and stuff, and telling people, like, I just stick with it. Just stick with your instruments. Like, if you like it, great. Like, just keep practicing it. Whatever.
Don't look at them. Look away.
I don't know why Will will randomly like think something is funny.
I looked at Jack and Jack's laughing, bro.
He's like purple.
You know what it is? It's that I don't know what it is about Abe, bro, but Abe, whenever you talk, it literally just sounds like you're going, I'm the expert. Okay. And you might not think so.
Well, compared to
you
like
might live in a mansion, but I'm the pro.
I know your mansion.
The only time, the thing that I hear when Abe's speaking is what Seamus cut me off from saying earlier, is just Will, when you said, "Oh my God," and you know what follows that.
Yeah.
That's all I can think about.
He's referring to a rehearsal where I thought something would be funny to say, and Seamus is like talking about something, and I was
really
like
passionately.
Very
really
passionately.
bad. I was not
so
listening
stoked about
though.
whatever I was talking about.
I was like looking at my phone, so I go, "Oh my God!" And he goes, "Yeah," and then I go, "You're still talking," just to see. I wanted to see how that would go over. Dude left practice.
That would piss me off.
We had already ran the set though, so we had already done our productive thing, and I was like, "This is my out." I had stuff I had to do later, so I was like, "I'm gonna use this."
Yeah, good for you.
It was really funny. I'm telling you right now, it was really funny.
It was like I walked out the room, and then I got in my car, drove away, and then 5 minutes later, Will calls me, and he's like, "Where are you?" And I was like, "Oh, I left. Like I was like, I'm out of here."
Yeah.
I was like, "All right,
Good for you.
See ya."
"Yeah, gotta stand
yeah.
up for myself."
Yeah,
Yeah.
old Irish exit.
Walking away from the situation.
Yeah,
Nice
I love an Irish exit.
Irish
Yeah.
exit
Are you Irish?
because you're Irish.
Are you?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
Seamus.
Seamus.
Yeah, Seamus O'Neill.
McGregor.
Seamus McGregor Neil.
O'Neill,
Sorry.
yeah.
Is that literally? What?
Yeah.
Seamus
I did
O'Neill
not know
McGregor
that.
Neil.
Yeah.
I should have known. Seamus is like the most Irish
That's like
name ever.
the stereotypical
Yeah.
one.
Well, I wasn't gonna assume. So
True. There you go.
good person.
Yeah,
Okay,
just stick to your instrument. After all that,
Yeah.
hope what you guys learned
Yeah.
from watching this is stick to your instrument. If you don't like it, then sucks. Pick something else new. I don't know.
I feel like whenever you talk, you imagine that you're like being watched on YouTube by some kid who's like, "I'll do that, Abe.
yeah, I'll do that.
You're my hero."
And nobody's gonna watch this until like 30 years from now. And then they're gonna be like, "Oh, nobody even plays instruments anymore," or whatever.
It's all AI.
I don't know. It's all AI. Yeah.
I don't know. Hannah's kind of famous though.
I know.
What?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hannah's gonna
Sorry,
famous.
Hannah. No, yes. Everyone's gonna watch this.
People are gonna be watching this.
Because-
Millions.
yeah.
Millions.
Billions.
Of people.
Billions. Why not billions if millions?
We're gonna get
Hey, you got. There's just like I don't know what you're saying half the time.
Okay.
Abe's like
Yeah.
the guy outside of the Lexington.
Oh my
Oh my God.
There's this
that?
guy
God
who came up to
bless
us.
that
A homeless
man.
guy came up to us, and we were all talking like in the middle of the conversation, and he like literally walks like into the circle that we were talking.
We're like 17.
Yeah, he walks
Yeah.
up to us and goes, "I'm gonna give you the best piece of advice you're ever gonna hear in your life." And it was silence for like 10 seconds probably, and then he walked away.
He didn't say anything.
He got in our face like this.
That is Abe.
It was you time traveling.
Yeah,
He's like,
I guess.
I gotta tell my
it
younger
was
self.
me.
And I forgot.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm ever gonna find out about the Lexington show, but somewhere between now and when I discover time travel, I'm gonna find out about the Lexington
you-
show.
Yeah.
Go
And then
back
I'm
to when
gonna
I was
go back.
16.
Yeah.
Holy
2018.
Yeah.
So there
At
you go.
1 in the
Okay.
morning. So
Okay,
Don't
I'll
be
make
late.
sure to be there in 2018 at 1 a.m. Got it.
they
Noted.
still
So
around.
wait, that was question 2, right?
I have no idea. We've lost the plot. Let me look. No, that was like question like 5.
Oh, duh. We're
We're
doing
making
okay.
great time.
Hell
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. This one's not like I guess it's a question, but you guys have been obviously killing it on socials. Who's the mastermind behind all your funny bits?
That's all of
It's
us.
I think it's
kind
a,
of a
I think
mix
it's
of
a
us
weird
all.
dynamic.
Is it? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Abe,
cool.
Abe's very good at like posting and captioning and doing stuff like that, and he's
Yeah.
really good at editing and stuff like that. But all like we had this video that like we did that like we normally get like 4 to something thousand whatever.
Yeah.
This video has 2 point
Is
something
it the,
million
I'm
views.
the-
Yeah.
It was funny.
But like
It's all
everyone
about the
makes those
trends.
videos.
I know.
And the weirdest part about that, it wasn't even like, I mean, yeah, the engagement was really weird. We were like, what the is going on? I mean, we gained like a 2,000 followers just off that video. And the weirdest thing about it to me was that people were using our audio.
Yeah, I know. I saw one. I was like, this is
Were they?
not their voices. This
Yeah.
is you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A ton of posts using that.
Someone made like
Using
some
audio,
animated
yeah.
thing, you know, about
Really?
it, like over them. Yeah, I was like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
this is wild." Like, this
It
is
was
really
it
weird.
was crazy. Like we always come in with like an idea or something, and we're just like, oh, this would be funny, or like,
It was
you know-
always like us, like just dicking around,
Yeah,
messing with
we're
each other,
just
coming
shooting
up with ideas. And
Yeah.
then Abe was like, "We got to start using TikTok." So
It's true.
we turned those ideas into like videos.
yeah. So like, I was, because we all doom scroll TikTok like for hours on end,
Oh yeah.
and it's funny because then you're as a viewer, you're just like, oh, I'm into this trend, but then when you participate in it, it's something totally different, and
Yeah.
like. So there was that, like, of course, I am whatever trend. And I bring that in and I'm like, yeah, this would be like a pretty basic starting point to like, start anywhere.
Yeah.
And then we just took it and ran with it. We were just like, Jack was like, it would be so funny if you guys just like cut me off. The way Jack talks.
The mic definitely just spiked.
Yeah, no,
I
it did. It did.
Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's.
now they know. Now they know it'll ruin the surprise.
I know, but yeah, no.
It's gonna sound like.
So that's literally all the thought we put into it, and then it was just 5 minutes of recording, and then I edited it later that night, and then
Edited it.
I can't say edited it.
I hate saying that.
It's like limited edition. There's like so many D's.
We're going down-
Edited it.
Here we
Just
go.
say
This is just what I
edit.
was talking about.
Just roll the
It's
D.
like-
I fucking
You
edited
edited
late
the
that
limited
night.
edition.
Yeah. Limited edition, and yeah, edited it. So I edited it later that night, and then posted it, and it fucking took off. And that was funny because I did not expect that, but none of us did. And yeah, and we were at NAMM, and people were like walking up to us at NAMM, going like, "You guys did the video." We're like, "Yeah,
We did.
yeah, we
Yeah.
did
That
the
must have
video."
been
We
after I
made that.
left because I
did. Seamus was with me. I got stopped like 4 times, and like
Famous.
Yeah, I know.
just because of a fucking
I got
Instagram
stopped
reel.
walking in
Yeah.
as I'm hobbling my ass in there. They're like, "Oh my god, you're the bassist." I'm like, "Yeah."
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
I know. So yeah, a little
Crushed
taste of
that.
the glory on that one, and yeah. So that's social media stuff. And what was the question? Tips on social media?
Sure.
Oh, never mind.
wasn't
I don't
a
have any
question,
tips.
Jesus.
No, let's hear it. Let's hear Abe's tips
okay.
and tricks.
Abe's got to have like a time limit. I'm like,
I
we
know.
gotta muzzle
Abe's
him after a
gotta
minute.
Get his own podcast.
Yeah.
My
Just a
goodness.
single.
You
My
should. It's
podcast
fun.
would be about like movies and music or something. I don't know. Yeah.
What would be the first movie you'd
The
talk
first
about?
movie I would talk about would probably be like, I don't know,
Surf's up.
Master of Disguise.
Banger.
Master of Disguise.
Oh my god.
Oh, Master.
Who is
Never
in
seen
that?
Master
I've
of
heard of
Disguise?
Wait,
I don't
it's
think
old.
so.
He keeps bringing this movie up, and he's like,
Hello,
"You guys
Paul
seen this movie?"
Giamatti,
Master of Disguise.
We're like, no.
It's a classic.
the
Who's-
kid from Malcolm in the Middle. Am I crazy?
Oh my god,
Yeah.
no, that's
I
Big
just
Fat
see
Liar.
That's what that
I
is.
love that
Yeah.
movie.
Paul
Oh,
Giamatti's blue in it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good movie. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah. He is a good guy. He's a good, funny guy.
Yeah.
Blue.
He is. Indeed, he is.
Yes.
All right, let's pivot now
Okay.
a little back to the music.
Will
What?
just hit his head on the wall.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Let's talk about some local shows. What are some of you guys' favorite local bands that you've seen lately, or like any music in the local scene that you're loving besides your own? Marshmallow. Sorry, that scared me. That scared me. He was biting the Velcro.
I mean, obviously the Tarks Hards they put on a great show.
They do.
I remember the first time I saw them, they did a really cover of Enter Sandman to start off.
I love when they do that.
I didn't get
funny.
it at first. And I was like, these dudes suck. I was like, these guys are terrible. But then they actually started playing their music, and I was like, oh no, I get it now.
Yeah.
They're the best. I don't know.
I feel
Pretty
like
Ugly's pretty good.
yeah. I feel like it's like not fair to say. I mean, the only one that I saw recently, I was like, damn, was in Vegas,
Oh, yeah.
Dead American,
Yeah.
dude. But I feel like they're like big. You know what I mean?
Dead American. They're a great
bigger.
band.
They're
Yeah.
not, maybe not even local, just any shows
Yeah.
that you've been to lately.
Yeah, Dead American's really good.
Viper Club.
Oh,
Every
yeah,
single
Viper
time I
Club's
see
great.
Viper Club, they are
Yeah, Viper
it's
Club's really good.
incredible how good they are.
I've
Yeah.
heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Viper Club is super cool.
Divided Minds.
Love those
Divided
guys.
Minds.
Divided Minds.
We'll just shout out Arizona bands.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arizona.
Yeah,
band.
honestly, Arizona.
Those
dude,
are the two that we
Arizona
know.
bands are f***ing crazy. Like
Yeah.
we go
Yeah.
out there, and every time we see people play, we're like, damn,
I know.
That's like all they got. It's just
talented
fucking dirt
people.
and playing music.
And
to do.
dirt.
Dirt,
Yeah.
sand, cactuses, and
I
Music.
love Arizona. It's great.
yeah,
I went
Arizona's cool.
on a bachelorette trip there. It was
Yeah, Arizona's rad. Lake Havasu.
fun. I had a good time.
The face afterwards, you're like,
I started thinking, I was like, well, some of it wasn't so good.
yeah.
We show up for the Rebel Lounge and we drive into Phoenix. And the entire time we're driving through Phoenix, we're in the heart of it. And Jimmy, the whole time, is just going,
Where's
Where's
Phoenix?
Phoenix?
Where's Phoenix?
are we in Phoenix right now?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm looking around. I'm like,
Oh yeah, he thought
honestly?
it was gonna be like.
Yeah.
Well, he
Oh,
wanted
like-
to see the big buildings and stuff
Yeah.
like that,
Like
but
the
like
city.
he doesn't.
Like
I
you're
mean,
used to LA.
you know, like
Yeah.
when you're, but like when you're here, like in LA and
Yeah.
stuff like that. If you go like, I don't know, if you
Anywhere.
go to where I'm in like Northridge area.
Yeah.
If you go around there, and like people just this is LA. People
Yeah.
just say that.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like
Right.
so people will say like, oh, like we were in some sketchy murder
Oh my
motel.
gosh.
And we're like, yeah, we're in Phoenix. And then Jimmy's like, where's
Where's
Phoenix?
Phoenix?
Where's
We should
Phoenix?
also say who Jimmy is because we never talked about Jimmy.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Sorry.
Probably give context.
so Jimmy is our
Imaginary friend.
imaginary friend.
He lives
He's-
in our hearts.
He's standing in for our guitarist slot since Shy left the group, and so he's been playing live with us and doing a really great job at that. And yeah, he's also like the little brother of the band whenever we're out everywhere.
Not me.
Not him. And guess what?
Is he-
he's like
is he-
older
See,
than
he's the
everyone else.
Yeah,
youngest
he's
out of
older.
all of us.
Well, yeah. How old are you guys? I have no
He's
idea.
38.
Actually, yeah, it's kind of close.
That's actually very close.
How old are you?
Guess how old I am.
I have no idea.
Yes, you have to guess.
But you have
Well,
to guess.
close to 38, 33, 32, 30. What are you, like 50?
No,
He's not
I'm at like, what are you, 5 or 55? Like,
Yeah,
you know
I
those
know you
memes?
don't. I have no idea.
No.
Are you actually like
No.
28?
I'm 28.
He's
Okay,
28.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You're 22.
Oh my god.
And Will and I are 23.
Yeah, and Jimmy
And
is
Jimmy
23.
is also 23.
Yeah, but Jimmy is like a month
No,
older
he's
than them
a
too,
month older than me.
Mm.
and but he acts
That
like
one-
they're
that one
You're
younger.
like,
doesn't
I
hurt.
know that.
Yeah, that one doesn't hurt as bad as Will, though.
God.
and
Doesn't sting.
Yeah.
Jimmy acts like the youngest. Like he has that dude. We
He's
were
just-
at a oh my god.
If you've watched actually, if you've watched Rick and Morty,
Oh
he's
yes. I
he's
love
Mort.
Rick and
He's
He
Mortimer.
is- he is Morty.
he's
Oh.
Mortimer.
Morty. Oh jeez.
He's
Oh,
like,
gee.
we'll walk into a place and like we'll just be like, oh dude, look at us, look at us, and we'll be like, you guys think that like we can like go over there, like do stuff like that, and we're like, Jimmy, yes,
Yeah.
you can walk over.
Jesus
Or
Christ,
He'll wear
yes.
this like racing jacket that's like really cool, like it's got all these different
Oh,
colors
the
over there,
padding?
and has
Yeah.
padding, and I always make it a thing to come up to him just like.
Yeah.
And like hit him all over the padding. I'm like, oh, it's padding. And he's like, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you guys.
He's a sweet-
It's so funny. We were in San Diego playing a little festival there with a bunch of cool artists from everywhere, and we went out to a bar like next door to the venue, and Jimmy,
it was not his night.
no,
It was
Jimmy,
not his night.
Jimmy ordered like 16 Dirty Shirleys.
Why?
No, hang on,
That's- you
wait.
get one.
You gotta tell me
cannot
about
have
when we were
multiple.
walking in. We were walking in, the guy's checking our IDs. The guy's asking for Jimmy's ID. It's at Jimmy's turn now to give him his ID. And he's like, okay. And then he like sees there's like the little board outside that shows like the specials. And he goes, $6 Dirty Shirleys. You know?
Hell yeah.
He's like, oh my God. And he like,
$6 Dirty Shirleys. Oh.
but then,
You
so
guys
then
sold me.
I'm like, Jimmy, I like laugh at him and I'm like, what? And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, there's no way he's going to walk up to the bar, like looking like he's in a rock band and order a Dirty Shirley.
Dirty Shirley.
Dude,
Yeah.
I shit you not. He's
I
sitting
love
at the
Dirty
thing, sitting there. Abe's like, I gotta get a Modelo. I'm like, I'll just have a Corona. And he's like, can I get a Dirty Shirley, please?
Yeah.
I watched this dude make a Dirty Shirley right in front of us, and I was like,
You know what?
I know.
Yeah.
They're good. But you know what's funny? It's funny that you just said Dirty Shirley. 'Cause one time I don't know if you guys have ever been to the Good Night. It's like a karaoke bar in North Hollywood. And we had come from
Sounds
this
fun.
other bar. It's really fun. We came from another bar called the Idle Hour, and we had gone
Oh,
down.
Idle Hour's sick.
And we went to
Yeah.
their happy hour, so we
Yeah,
were
yeah,
like
yeah.
feeling it. And I don't drink a lot, so when I drink, it's bad. And I like roll up to the bar, and the bartender at the Good Night hates me. And I was like, "Can I get a Dirty Shirley?" And he was like, "You just said Dirty Shirley. Are you sure you need one?" I was like, "Not really. No. I think I'll just have a water."
Damn.
he's looking
That's
out.
funny.
Oh,
So
my
you gotta
God.
finish the
So
story.
Jimmy gets a Dirty Shirley, and he orders
The
like
whirly dirlies.
okay, instead of 16, he orders like 3 or 4, I think.
Still, that's a lot.
That's a
yeah,
lot.
They're sweet.
and he's it's funny because I'm sure he doesn't go out a lot because he orders
Damn.
he
Randomly
orders.
dissing Jimmy.
Okay, Jimmy, we're not dissing you.
No.
You
This
just
always
ordered
happens.
4,
Whenever one
3 or
person's
4
not here, everybody
Everybody
just on
3
them.
or 4
Yeah.
Dirty Shirleys, you really don't know how many you should actually have.
Yeah, that's
And
fair.
so he orders that many, and then he's doing one of these, like heads bobbing, and he's closing his eyes, and then he like puts his head down.
But it's funny.
He puts
It's
his
like
head
it's
down
like out
on
of
the
sheer
bar.
like tired. Like
Yeah, he
okay,
was
so
actually tired.
him and Jack have this thing where they like it's not like if we'll get tired, we're like, oh God, I'm tired, but whatever, let's like get through it. Or like Seamus the same way. Fucking Jack and Jimmy, they don't get tired,
Yeah.
they get pooped.
Yeah.
Like
You guys are like little babies. You can't hide it.
They're like,
They get pooped
I
out,
gotta
and they
go
put
to
the little
bed.
cap
Oh.
on, you know, the little like sleeping cap.
Yeah.
the little dress, the little
Yeah.
candle.
And then they got a candle.
Sleepy
And they
tenant.
walk
And
to the
then
candles.
they like get in bed like,
They do
but
the
then,
honk.
but then they want like,
Yeah, when they're sleeping,
and
they
then
go.
during the day they're like, what? I'm like part of the band. Like I'm this, I'm that. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
bro, you just took a fucking pacifier to bed.
Everyone needs the designated driver in the band.
It's
and
so,
here I
dude,
am.
It
it's
is
so
very
we're like,
useful.
hey, we're gonna go out
It
and
is
network,
so
you know,
useful.
Yeah.
with these other bands. And Jack's like, oh, you guys have fun.
I'm gonna hit me.
Yeah.
He's like 50
I'm gonna hit
and
the
like
sack.
8 at the same time.
That phrase is insane.
I
Yeah.
feel it.
So
Hit the sack.
Jimmy puts his head down on the counter.
Out of
On the
tired.
That's
bar.
how did you get kicked out?
No. We almost. I mean, Jimmy almost did. Me and Will just kind of went like, like we just quickly just went,
Well, we tried to
Yeah.
warn him.
Well,
Like he started
literally,
putting
yeah.
his head down, and I didn't know this was a rule. But for me, I'm a social skills person. Like I'm great in
Yeah,
social situations.
exactly.
So I see him, and I'm like, dude, you're gonna look like a fucking weirdo sleeping at this bar, you know, whatever. So I'm like, oh, Jimmy, and Abe at the same time goes, oh, Jimmy, and just when we do that, the bartender goes, if my security sees you sleeping in here, we're gonna throw you out. And he's like,
Yeah.
oh, sorry.
And then we shit on Jimmy for the whole rest of the night. We
Sleepy Jimmy.
I'm like, I literally
That's
right
the nickname
after,
for him, actually.
right after that happens, like literally like 2 seconds after that happens, I look over at Jimmy and I'm like, I'm gonna call you Sleepy Jimmy forever now.
We were like, are you good?
And then-
he's like, I'm embarrassed enough already.
Yeah.
But that's not even where the night ends for him.
Oh no.
That's not even how it ends.
do you
So
mean?
he leaves a little after that, and then walks over to the hotel where we're staying. And then what happens?
He gets back to the hotel, and then
Oh yeah, I remember this.
I was pooped, so I was sleeping. I was chilling in there. He gets back. They all stay at the bar. Seamus wasn't there. And
Yeah.
Jimmy comes in, gets in bed, and like it's chill for like 30 minutes. And then I'm like half asleep. I hear him get up, and I hear the front door open. So I'm like, oh, okay, he's stepping outside for a second. It was like 10 seconds, and I hear the door close, and he pops back in bed. As soon as his body hit the bed, the fucking fire alarm went off. And I was like, what the fuck? So I like jump out of bed, I run to the window, and I look outside. There's nothing. None of the other fire alarms are going off. So I was like, what the hell happened? So I turn it off. I open the door. I look outside. I'm like, what the is going on? Why did our fire alarm go off? I sit back down and I look at Jimmy and he's like peeking out over the covers at me like this. And he goes, I vaped next to the fire alarm, my bad.
Oh, why?
I didn't even know that, dude. I did not know that.
You can. That's it, dude. It was like we all had like weird nights because we were hanging out with shout out Melleby and Dakota.
And Dakota, yeah. They're from Toronto, Canada, or as they say, Churano,
Yeah.
like a churro.
Toronto.
They say
Churro?
churro, like a Churano,
It's
Canada.
weird, but we went out with them.
Toronto.
We were drinking with them after Jimmy left, and then we were out till like maybe 2 a.m, and we come back in the room, and I'm thinking, okay, we're gonna pass out because for us, like to sing kind of in the morning is like the last thing you want to do, and we're on this. We just went to bed around, I'm thinking we're gonna go to bed around 2, whatever. So it was pretty late, but then like we had to wake up and play at like 12 or something, which in theory is not horrible,
Still,
but like if you're going to bed that late. So we get in the room and Abe's like, I'm hungry. And he was, and you could
Sucks,
tell, I was like coming down. I like was not feeling the buzz anymore, really, but you could tell Abe was feeling himself, bro. Abe was feeling it. He was just talking and Jackson in bed like, and I'm like, shut yeah. So we're sitting there, and then he like we order stuff, right? We order from this place, and as you can see, Abe is quite the storyteller. So we order from this Mexican place, and he's like, Tom DeLonge was talking about this place about when he was
It's in a Blink-182 song. I didn't say it.
Whatever.
It's mentioned in the Blink-182 song, so I just said it as a fun fact.
What is it? What is it?
It's
What did
called,
they say?
Okay, free plug. It's called Sombreros Mexican Food. And the lyric is,
It's not
she
really
brings me
plug
Mexican food from
because-
Sombreros just because.
It's not really a plug because when the food got there, I ordered 2 burritos and both of them were fucking freezing cold.
Well, I knew they were going to be cold because the way he ordered them, like, you don't order carne asada, like, that late.
What?
I ordered
That's
peanut.
sleeping. What's wrong? Why
The meat
can't you
is
order
sleeping.
it?
I think it's Mimi's time.
No, I ordered a bean and cheese burrito, and that was hot.
Yeah, he's like, I ordered the bean and cheese burrito because the rice helps, keep the
beans, right,
the
the
beans
beans.
help keep the
It should be
thing
hot
warm and everything.
regardless.
I'm like,
Your fault. It's nighttime.
it's like my was made an hour before we ordered it, and they were like, "Oh, I'll take it."
Food poisoning
Yeah, no.
vibes. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But, yeah, that was a funny Jimmy moment.
I wish Jimmy was here. He sounds hilarious.
He's
We'll be here for the next one.
yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
The next one will have more space.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry. What is your most controversial opinion in music? It doesn't have to be a
I
negative
was waiting
thing.
for this question, and I was
I
dreading
ask
it.
everybody this, and I don't know if I should stop. It's fun, but sometimes it goes a little haywire.
Yeah.
Well, let's start at the end then.
Jack, what's your most controversial opinion?
No. The bassist is useful.
That's not
That is
controversial.
so controversial.
That is very controversial. if you
Okay,
look
no,
at our
controversial
comments.
thing would be like saying that bass is hard, because it's not.
Is it hard? It looks fun.
You can
I'm
make
able
it
to
hard,
do
but
it,
it's-
so
I want to
no,
learn
it's
how to play
not hard.
bass. I want to learn.
Well,
It
you
looks
could do
fun.
it in
Oh,
5
you
minutes.
could start with Seven Nation Army. It's a little
They actually play that on the
Leap,
guitar,
but-
so like a 6-string guitar, not a bass.
Damn.
You know what, Abe?
Get 'em.
You know what, Abe? You're right.
I know.
All right. Was that the one? Was that what? Was you?
That's good. Yeah.
I don't even know what
I'm trying to
Van
think. of mine.
Halen sucks.
I have a similar
Yeah,
No,
opinion.
they don't. They're
Yeah,
actually
Van
good.
Hagar.
Van Hagar.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I'm not. I was never a really huge fan of Red Hot Chili Peppers. I do not like.
Even though we ripped off one of their songs and it's one of our best songs.
Okay, like for example, like the I think their songwriting is good, but I'm not like when I listen to songs, I'm like, oh, it's not really like for me. Or like, what's another U2? Like
Okay,
I
that's
don't
fair.
f-
That's
with
fair.
I do not
I
like
don't care
U2.
about U2.
Remember
You know-
when they like implanted everyone's phones with
Yeah,
the
it's like
remember that.
nobody
but,
needed
but
that.
despite
Dude,
that,
that
like,
was so funny.
but they're clearly like a huge band. Like they're
My mom
wildly
loves them.
successful. Like they're one of the
Like-
best bands of whenever. But I don't like it. And whenever I tell people that, it's like, oh,
No, I get it.
Bono.
I don't care about Bono.
Yeah.
Yeah, who cares? But Red Hot Chili Peppers, that is actually kind of a hot take, I feel like.
Yeah, because
Especially for being in LA.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know.
What
People are-
about it? Like,
It's just like
his voice.
it's a lot of
vibe?
things. It's I think all the musicians in the band, like even the singer, like I think they're really good at what they do.
Yeah.
And I think their songwriting is kind of like a lot of people just skim right past. They don't even like care, but like the guy's writing some crazy lyrics and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like you know when it's like you can listen to it and be like, oh, I know this is like a good song, this is good, whatever, but I'm just like, I'm not vibing with it.
That's fair. I don't dislike their music. I like think when I think about them, I think positively, but I do find myself skipping.
I mean, yeah, it's also
when it comes on.
it's also kind of like I've met okay, there's some fan bases, and I'm sure this isn't all of their fans, but there's like okay, I'll give an example.
Spit it out.
There was I told you about this already. There's this one girl, and I asked like if she liked Red Hot Chili Peppers. 30 minutes later, I knew exactly how she felt about how John Frusciante is his name.
Yeah.
Is like the best guitarist in the world because everything he does is improvised, and he's just such a hero, and he's this, that, and I was like, I was asking if you like, do you
Yes
like
or
them
no?
or not?
Yeah.
You know, but their fans are so passionate, you know.
There's a lot of fan bases like that. And
I mean, both bands
I walked
mentioned
in here and I was
great
like,
bands,
there's
but-
so many ghost posters everywhere.
I love, I have a
I'm
Ghost
just
magazine
kidding.
right here.
I saw the candle.
There's a candle in the bathroom. Alan got me that for Christmas, actually. I love Ghost, but I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
There
Is that the
are
band
some
that's
scary-
like, I want to swear,
yeah.
hammer, whatever it
Wait,
is?
what?
Are you
What?
on the square?
Jack
Yeah, oh,
has a song in his
yeah.
playlist, and it comes on every time I'm in the stupid car.
I
Good
love
song.
it. Against the Sun played that on my birthday, and I cried. It was so nice.
That's cool.
I love them.
That's cool.
Cool story, bro. Don't care.
All
right, back to
I don't
my
have a
music
controversial
thing.
opinion. I can't.
Seriously?
Okay.
You have nothing
Okay. This is the
after
close.
everything?
This
You
is
were
the.
begging him to talk?
I want shocked.
Okay,
I'm
this
like,
is the
dude,
closest thing I would have to a controversial opinion.
cut.
You know, okay, it's very specific. It's like the whole emo night, like you know, thing in LA. LA specifically. When we did it in Phoenix, like there was an emo night after our show, and it was cool. Like everyone was having, yeah, it was awesome. And I had the wrong idea about it, and that's why my opinion kind of changed from being a hot take to just being like, oh, maybe it's just geographical locations or something.
I
But
just thought of another one.
emo night out here.
Forget it.
Yeah, it's the emo night thing. It feels like it's more of like the whole thing, like Hot Topic, and I don't know. It's like all brand. It's
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean. It's like, I love all those bands. I grew up with them, like, you know, Seosin, Taking Back Sunday,
Yeah.
like, you know.
They're gonna be
all-
at
like,
Coachella, aren't they?
I think so.
It's crazy.
Clowncore
Wow.
is gonna be at
I
Coachella.
know.
That shit's sick.
I love the lineup this year. I want to go, but I'm poor.
And
Carry on.
but like after a while, it just kind of lost its allure, and I'm just like, yeah, it's cool. You're listening to the same like hits that you can just put a playlist
Yeah.
on shuffle. I don't know. So I'm like, it's just kind of like I see it and just say, I wave to it, and that's about it. But
Yeah.
I really don't vibe with it that well.
Interesting. I also feel like like you kind of said, it might be a geographical thing because in like other cities, it's probably way more exciting. But in
Yeah.
LA, like you can do any like themed night thing, like almost any night of the week.
Yeah.
You can find that anywhere. So it's not as exciting when it comes around. But yeah, I get that.
Yeah,
That's fair.
yeah. That's the closest thing. But emo night and other places are probably fucking rad, and I've never even been to one. So.
Yes, you have.
Just hate
Well,
from
I've
outside.
been I
Arizona.
went to the Arizona emo night. That's what I'm saying. Is like, but I'm not saying I've never even been to New York, so I'm not going to go to New York emo night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Fair.
about it.
What's your other one that you thought of?
This one, I think will be very controversial, but I think it's really going to be controversial with bands. Singers being the diva and like being that, oh, I can't do this, I need it, I need this, I can't, you know, whatever.
It's true most of the time,
That's
but
true.
Completely understandable and justifiable. 100%.
I don't
What's
think
an
that's
example?
a hot take.
What's like
Oh, no, I see what you're saying. No, I
Like-
see what you're saying.
like they're allowed to be
like literally, I've had vocal teachers that like
yeah.
big time people who are like, you know, like I'm blown away by these people being in my presence or like, you know, working with them, and they're like, I've never asked them to do these things, but these are things that they're telling me you must have your band do it because you're
like what?
okay.
He wants
Shine
us to
your
like
shoes,
literally open
load
up
in.
doors.
That's what I was
for
gonna
him.
say. They're like, I never asked that of you.
You
They're like,
sold us that before.
Yeah,
because
no.
I'm telling them what my vocal teachers. Yeah, my vocal teachers like literally have people open doors for you because if you get a cold or something, like
From touching the door, like
if you
germs.
get anything,
Yeah,
like
you're done.
it's gonna be in your throat.
But
for
he'll
a
explain
month
it and be
after
like,
you're
yeah,
sick.
but like if I got like leukemia or some shit, I could still play a show and it's
well,
fine.
can you move?
I mean, probably,
Yeah.
but like, I'm built different, so.
As long as you can hit circles and count to 4, it doesn't. It's
Yeah,
fine
and
with
I
me.
crush it.
No one's saying you don't.
Christ. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
that's kind of a hot
I
ass
wouldn't
take.
say it's that controversial, but
I feel like whenever I'm like, oh yeah, guys need this, need that.
It's more
You're like,
Chevy.
oh,
Dude, before a show, like we'll announce a show, and then we'll be like, dude, we're gonna do the show, whatever. And then like 2 days before the show, he gets sick.
I
It's like,
get
dude,
you
I
get sick a lot.
There's
It's like
something.
clockwork.
No, I actually don't. We won't play a show.
You get
for
sick at the
months.
most inconvenient time.
That's how I am too.
We don't play a show for months, and I won't get sick at all. Healthiest
Yeah.
person ever. I could eat
That is
7-week-old gusher off the floor, and I'd be fine. And
Gushers, dude. I had
Gushers.
chamoy tahini gushers that I made the
oh
other
my,
day.
this girl
great.
had them last.
Dude,
night.
I
So
miss
bad.
those.
in my mouth. And I
Those
was like,
Skittles.
I wanted to vomit.
Really?
What?
So
What?
bad, so bad. I
Just
don't know.
makes me
He's
He's a
drool.
little. He's like weak.
You guys are
It's like
disgusting.
weak.
But
Coward.
but the wait, what were we just talking about?
You were talking about.
Oh, you're the healthiest person on
Yeah.
earth
Oh,
yes,
until
yes.
a show.
So then, as soon as a show's booked or anything like that, my body's like, no, sick. And like literally, before we went to Arizona, I had a fever. Like I was vomiting, like the whole deal.
So but then I call him. I'm like, Will, like this is what you need to do to get healthy. I'm like, I have an aunt that's a doctor. Like she, is a medically practicing doctor, and I call her whenever I'm sick, and she gives me all these tips and stuff, and I just forward that to Will, and I'm like, hey, Will, do this, and Will's like, no, I'm like, I'm gonna be fine. Like
and I sang on the phone with him when I was sick. I was like, because
he started singing songs to me on the phone, and I'm like, I appreciate it, Will, but
I do these stupid things. Well, because this is why. Because I do this thing for some reason where every time I write a song, it's always at the top of my fucking range. So it's like the hardest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Just, so like I was on the phone and it's always like, he's talking to me. He's like, yeah, I just hope you're well enough to play the show. I think you'll be okay. And I'm just like, when you say,
That-
and
he'll
he's just
start
like,
singing like that.
he's like, okay, well, that's great. You sound great. Yeah, I think you can do it.
That's enough proof right
Yeah,
there.
I know he'll do that, but then I'll be like, Will, you gotta eat like soup. You gotta have like
Yeah.
bananas and applesauce, whatever.
Like
And
4x4.
and then he'll literally be like, yeah, I'm doing the best. And then I hear him go eating
Carl's
Raisin
Jr.
Canes or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude,
Just slurping a Coke, hasn't
Yeah.
had water in
Yeah.
a week. He's like, I don't know why I don't feel good, man.
I don't know why I
so
don't feel good.
weird.
this is so weird.
Dude, that's okay. He's also one of the most unhealthy people. He
Yeah,
didn't
but-
drink water for a week
But Jack will
How?
like get.
Is
because
that
he just drinks fucking
possible?
soda, and that's it.
But this is
And
the thing.
Capri Sun.
Are you from
No,
like
shut
Utah
up.
or
No.
something?
No, wait.
Are you
he gets
Mormon?
sick.
Are you
There's-
Mormon?
I know,
They
right?
love,
that
they
a
love
Mormon
soda.
thing?
Oh,
They
yeah, Mormon,
love
dude.
soda.
I just
Yes.
learned this recently, actually, from watching a fucking Netflix thing or whatever.
Wait, which one was it? Was it the Duggar one?
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
that was sick.
It was weird, and
They're
I looked up like
freaks.
the stuff like on TikTok you can look up anything.
Yeah, I'm very
And there was
interested in
like
Mormons.
there's like a whole like cultural like food thing because of Mormons where like they can't have like coffee or hot
Yeah,
drinks.
no caffeine.
They can't have
Or
they can't have
a hot
hot
drink. Yeah,
drinks.
yeah,
Yeah, they
you're
can have
right,
hot drinks.
They can't have
Yeah.
coffee, so they drink a ton of soda.
Soda.
And they put milk in it.
Yeah, they put
What
they
is it
put
called? Pilk.
yeah
Pepsi and milk.
pilk.
That's horrible.
That's
Yeah,
gross.
they put like ice cream in everything, and they make all these like weird concoctions, and
And they're weird waters with all
yeah,
the little
there's
packets.
waters. Yeah, it's crazy. There's like sugar and water and stuff.
This is really
Then
scary.
it's not water at that point.
It's
You
It
weird.
is to
people
them.
With like the 64-gallon jug.
Yes.
But like 8 packs.
Oh, that's
Yeah, like
awful.
making my water.
Yeah.
And
like,
Making water?
Yeah,
Yeah.
making water.
And then they put
You're
like
making-
8.
You're making juice.
Yeah,
You are making.
it's juice. That's all it is.
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing about like me and Jack when it comes to like sickness and stuff like that, like yeah, for singers, if you get the common cold, like it's gonna be in your throat for at least a month after, kind of thing. It's wild. Like you can feel it.
Yucky.
Jack will get like a single sniffle and be like, oh, bedbound.
yeah.
I can't do it. I can't do anything. I'm and it's funny because he's like, no. But then guess who agrees with me? His girlfriend who he lives with. She's like, yeah, Jack will get sick and be like, oh, but
It's
like
the end
he's
of the
not really that
world.
bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know, he
As
missed
long as I'm
practice
able to play
yesterday.
the shows, baby.
He missed practice yesterday
I
What?
did
Are you
miss
sick?
practice yesterday.
because
Well,
he thought he felt some symptoms.
My
Okay, that sounds like me. I'm like, I'm dying. I have a sniffle. What?
okay, to be fair, my girlfriend is sick, and then I didn't want to show up and get anyone else sick.
And now
So
you're
you showed
here.
up here.
And now
you're
we're here.
And now we're here.
And now we're here.
Great.
It's like, well, I can't miss something important.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
Rehearsal, but
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, take some pills.
Pop some pills.
Oh my goodness.
Bad
Yeah.
message.
Well, if we all end up sick after this, we know.
We know
We
who
know
the
who it
culprit
was.
is.
Yeah, we know who
Thanks.
the imposter is.
Get it? Oh my god. Don't do that.
Sick.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Jack.
Cool. So I'm glad I'm sitting on this side of the bed. What's happening? So speaking, I mean, there's really no segue. I'm just gonna say it. So are you guys on tour right now actively? Like, are you? Because kind of, right?
Yeah.
it's kind of like
We're-
the endish thing.
We're finishing
Right.
up the tour
The
this
Breaking
Saturday.
Ground tour, is that
Yeah,
what it's
Breaking
called?
Ground tour.
Let's talk about that. How has
Yeah.
tour been? Start to
Cool.
finish.
Well, this thing started because it was part of the Rock Collective thing, and we were looking for a way to branch out because we seen the LA scene, and it's like really cool that all these bands are coming together and pulling people out, and then we noticed some bands are kind of like like, oh, we're either only going to show up like when we play, or we're only going to bring
Yeah.
people out when we play.
yeah.
So it's like if anyone else plays, like they don't care.
Yeah.
But when they play, it's so not about to name any names or anything like that, but all the numbers and everything are publicly available. Like anyone can see these now. So we started looking into this, and so we were one of the top ones that pull out, as we mentioned earlier. And
Oh yeah.
We're the best at pulling out, bro.
large crowds.
Bat in the
That's a joke,
thousand.
by the way.
very
For legal
rare
reasons,
that
it's a joke.
Yeah.
that my mind is like the least dirty mind in the room.
Yeah, I don't know what Hannah was laughing at. I was
Yeah,
confused.
Sorry.
Hands wild,
I
bro.
know.
That wasn't me. I don't know who said that.
That was the person behind you.
It was
It
Marshmallow.
was Jimmy.
Here, I'll say
Jimmy.
it's Jimmy, bro. Well, okay, we'll say we bring one of the biggest draws.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
we started looking for some other bands, and we knew there was a band that we liked called Black Rock Candy, and they've since rebranded to Turning Jane, and then same people, and then we reached out, we found Viper Club, and that's really kind of where it all started. There were some other bands on it, but things didn't really work out too well for them. They wanted to go a separate way with it, so we continued.
Got gnats.
We continued this tour. We had some times where dates had literally a date had to be canceled because the Diamondbacks or something were playing.
Oh
and
yeah,
they
the
wanted that
Diamondbacks
for
made the playoffs and the first time in a long time, and so the bar that we were gonna play at, they shut down the show because they were like, we would make so much more money showing the games than having these bands play.
Yeah.
So
That's your opinion, man.
That's-
Let us
yeah.
in.
And then they lost the series, so it didn't even matter.
Yeah. It didn't even
But that's what the show last week
matter.
was, to make up for that.
yeah.
Got
Yeah.
it.
So it's just it's a cool little thing just to kind of get out there, and I feel like a lot of bands out here fall into this trap of, oh, I'm doing everything I can, and let's just most
We're in LA,
most of the time they're not doing social media
that's not
well or whatever, but if let's just pretend they are and they're still not growing or whatever, a lot of these bands don't even realize that their biggest audiences or the biggest ways that they're going to grow is you have to get fans. So you got to go out to these places and do these things, and I think that's what kind of weeds out the people, because it's fun to be in a band in your hometown and everybody thinks you're cool and all that stuff. But we were just talking about, we just stayed in a motel where my body count of roach kills is
my God.
upwards of 8.
His body count for roaches, like cockroaches.
We slept
Kills,
on
by the
top
way.
of the blankets. All the pillows, all the towels had brown stains on them.
It was so
wild
bad.
stuff.
So that was
we
a whole
saved
other
some money.
experience. Yeah. After that,
did we.
after that, everyone was like, "Who booked this again?" Everyone kept asking us the whole weekend, "Who booked this again?" And it was Jack. But we
Jack
stayed
doesn't
at-
mind the roaches.
It was so funny. We stayed at this Motel 6 in Glendale, Arizona, which is it's like suburb in Phoenix or something.
Yeah.
And
It's like their Skid Row.
yeah, and, dude, it's very industrial. Okay, Jack, you guys say that it's industrial.
That's fun.
And we're there, and dude, we arrive, and within I get out, and I look at you kind of get a vibe of the places, the people walking around.
He had despair when he said this.
I was
really upset.
I got out of the car, and I looked behind me, and I'm like, oh,
He was like, "Oh no."
oh no, and then And then literally not even like 5 minutes later, we hear like sirens coming down the street. It's a fire truck and like an ambulance behind it. And it turns its sirens off and then pulls into the parking lot with us. And then I'm like, I look at Will and I go, oh no.
How could it get any worse? I mean, all night, I started getting
Oh my God.
Dude, I
yeah.
started getting scared because I didn't even realize it was a dog. There was someone upstairs who it sounded like all fours, like
It was like
running.
this.
Like,
Like there's a man crawling in the
specific
ceiling.
pattern all night until like 4 a.m. So I'm like, oh, there's like a fucking exorcism about to happen upstairs. You know, people are yelling outside. I mean, we went to like the mall or something to eat, and then we came back, and there's like a police officer there with like his rifle. Like,
Yeah.
it was like
At the Motel 6.
Yeah.
And so we stayed at the Motel 6, and I remember me and Will were just like chopping it up or whatever and watching Rick and Morty or something. Like whatever was on the TV. And like,
oh, it was King of the Hill.
yeah, it was King of the Hill. That's what it was.
Fire.
King of the Hill. And I just see like, I'm looking at the TV and I'm like, did the guy from King of the Hill always have a mole on his face, like drawn on his face? And I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh shit, that's a fucking roach.
Yeah.
And it's
big.
like this big, but from far away it looked like, small.
Yeah.
But when you put it up really close to your eye, it looks really big. But
Put it up. Really
Mind you,
close to your eye.
Put
when
it
we
in your
got
mouth,
there,
it just
we
tastes
walked in.
like one.
None of the doors like open normally. You have to like put them up
Oh,
and
yeah, it
budge
was-
them
Oh, you
open.
have to like shoulder charge the door to.
And when
Yeah.
when we
Yeah.
got into our room, the TV was like still on. Like somebody had like
yeah,
just
the TV
left.
was on and the control was like
reeked
covered
of
in some
cigarettes,
mystery
you
substance. Like the substance
Oh
was
yeah!
Huh?
Oh my no! There was like clearish, whitish, sticky shit on the remote.
yeah.
Guys, that was
You know how I found out?
Big no.
You know how I found out?
You press the
I tried to change the channel.
and it like went
hands stopped
crunchy.
Yeah.
What was it?
button. The light.
I think
it was,
you can
it was
figure
like
out.
dried like Carl's Jr. ranch
No
sauce
way.
or something.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would hope.
For legal reasons.
Christ.
For legal reasons, we have to say Carl's
Have
Jr.
Have you guys ever
Ranch.
seen the movie Vacancy?
No.
It's really
Saw
scary.
Hostel.
It's
That scared me.
It's like this couple, their car breaks down, obviously, of course, and they have to stay in like a sketchy hotel or motel. And there's like a little TV, and there's a bunch of tapes on top of the TV, and they're like, oh, like let's watch a movie. And they put it in, and it's like a movie of people getting like stabbed and murdered, and they're like, this is like a really scary movie. And then they look closer, and they realize that
It's the room they're in
it's
or
their room. It is so scary, and that's what that
I wanna
sounds
see that
like.
movie now.
It's really scary.
I'm into like scary movies and stuff.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I think the last one I saw. Well, I remember the ones that I loved the most.
Mhm.
I think Witch was like
Oh,
a
love
really
that.
good one.
I've heard which is good.
So good. That one was scary. Hereditary. I
Fire.
didn't watch that for the longest
Made
time,
me
and then I was like,
so good.
whatever, I'll watch it. That movie was like
Dude,
creepy.
the part, I'm not gonna give anything away, but the part,
The Drive.
no, the
Oh.
part where the mom is doing
Oh, dude, yes.
when he
On the-
hears it
yes.
first,
Oh my
I
god, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
will never unhear that or see that.
I
Wait,
don't
on the
remember.
ceiling or the?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
Oh my god, dude! When,
I-
yeah, when,
nothing
it's,
has
That's
ever
such a good
upset me
reveal.
when the
more.
mom was on the
Yeah.
ceiling part.
When she, have you guys seen it?
Wait, no, because she's on the ceiling, she's chasing, and then there's the piano wire.
The piano wire. I was like,
I don't remember the
this
piano
movie
wire.
is
There's a wrapped
sick.
around her neck, and she's just
Oh, I don't
chopping
remember.
her head off.
I don't
Not
remember
to
that.
Spoil it, but
Yeah, good.
Good job not spoiling it.
That's
But
fine.
the part that creeped me out was when the mom was like trying to get to the son in the attic, and just the angle of the shot
Mhm.
was really weird. Like it felt
he's
uncomfortable.
sleeping?
No, she was literally like upside down on the wall, and like there's
Oh,
the
when she-
attic,
yeah.
like, and she's like hitting the attic with their face.
Yes.
That
Oh,
was creepy.
No, that movie's sick.
I gotta watch it. I haven't seen it.
That
You
movie.
still
You should.
haven't
It's,
seen
I haven't seen
it's
that
a
or
lot.
Midsummer either.
Okay, Midsummer.
Midsommar.
Love that movie.
I wasn't really a
It's
fan of
no,
Midsummer.
it's good.
Okay, I was like, what are you about to say?
Yeah, I would say for me, Midsummer is more disturbing
Really?
than Hereditary for me.
I left
I think
Midsummer
Hereditary.
feeling like I could freaking fly.
I
I
would
loved that
say
movie.
Midsummer has the best representation of what it's actually like to be on shrooms, though.
That's what I've
Not
heard.
that I've ever done shrooms, because I would never do drugs.
No.
But if I were to, it's the best. Like, because a lot of times they're just like, "Whoa, this crazy," but
Yeah.
like everything felt like it was breathing in this movie, and I was
Mhm.
like, "That's what it's actually like."
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really like that movie.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't really like
Why?
it. Just it wasn't really like it didn't irk me like Hereditary did. Like it wasn't on the edge of my seat. Like something happened, and you're just like, oh, cool, an old guy fell off a cliff.
That scene
and then
f***s me up,
smashed
dude.
his face with a hammer.
Yeah,
but
that scene f***s me up.
Oh, cool. Old guy fell off a cliff.
I'm like, all right, whatever.
Just
I mean,
another
you can
day.
just look that up on Live Leak. I don't know, like, you know.
Motel 6 in Arizona.
Yeah, Motel 6 in Arizona. That's a scary movie title right there. But yeah, Motel 6 in Arizona. And then we stayed up like we were kept up all night at that Motel 6 by like people yelling and stuff.
Moaning.
And then
There were
it
twins.
was crazy. And like
God.
we get up the next day and like we see the aftermath of like dude, Will walks out and he goes, "Oh, I just stepped into prison aftermath."
Yeah.
Oh God.
No, I remember I walked out and like I walked out of the room and like there was a stairwell like right outside of our room and there's some guy like sleeping on the stairwell.
Oh yeah.
And I walk out and I'm like looking at him because I'm like, oh, like is he good? And like I'm like checking just to, it's like a second, right? I'm like looking for a split second. I looked at him and his eyes are like, and then he like looks at me and I'm like, hey. He's like, oh,
It was so weird.
go back inside.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever? I'm trying to find it on TikTok. It's like, God, I wish I could find it, but it's like the POV, like you're car camping at Coachella, and it's like the snoring, like the snoring, then like farting, and then something's like your little belongs to me.
No.
That's what I feel like
that's
you
so
guys
funny.
slept listening
That
to.
actually is like
You
really.
know,
what it
that
was.
pretty much it is.
You know what's crazy to me though is that we were in two different rooms. It was me and Abe, and
I would have hunkered down all together in one room out
We-
of
there
fear.
here's
There
the
was
worst part:
barely any space.
the rooms were connected, but the doors to connect the rooms were glued shut.
They were glued shut. Yeah.
So here's the
How
thing.
much
though.
was this hotel room?
It's like
$20.
That
70 a
would-
night.
That's too
not-
much.
You know,
That's-
motels.
well,
like wow.
So Jack, Seamus, and Jimmy were in the other room. Me and Abe were in a room, and we were killing roaches left and right, like complaining about it.
Yeah,
right?
it was like World War III, dude.
They never mentioned a single
Roaches.
roach.
No.
So it's either they like
having
just slept
roaches.
with them and
They're
like.
just like, yeah, I don't
Did
see
Did
them.
you go
They're
under the
just-
blankets and stuff?
Yeah.
You slept under the blankets and
Yeah.
stuff, didn't you? Yeah, you're
Dude,
wild.
me and Will slept on top of the
Yeah,
blankets.
I was like, fuck that.
We were
My hoodie was my blanket.
Yeah, no, I just
Yeah.
slept in my clothes like on top of the blankets. There was no way I was sleeping
I
underneath
would've
those
slept in
blankets.
Well, in the car, you'd probably get.
Well, I have
Killed.
experience.
Yeah,
I
it's
just
still
used like
sketchy.
merch as a blanket, so I was like, my clothes are my
True.
blanket.
Dude, yeah,
Yeah.
I would have gone in the car and just like covered myself in merch because that sounds.
It was wild, but
Yeah.
Put it this way,
yeah.
I
The
called my
ride back
dad
from
and he's like,
Arizona
"How
was
is it?" And I was like, "Well, I've already killed like 5 roaches, kind of thing."
Should I pull up that
And he goes,
picture?
"Okay, so this is what you're gonna do." He goes, "Make sure everything you have
Yeah,
is
of
like
course,
off
are
the
you
ground."
kidding?
Yeah, so
You
you
know.
don't take them with you.
Yes, he's like, just make it sure it's off the ground. If it's off the ground, it's fine. Zip up your suitcases whenever you're not using them, you know, whatever. So, I remember like you had your like head in there or whatever,
Oh, yeah.
and it was like on the cabinet, and we were like, okay, well, we're fine if like we're up on something, right? Like
Yeah.
we're on a bed, we're lifted
No,
off the floor, it's
not
fine.
true.
Yeah.
Literally,
You think they can't climb?
Abe's bed is there. I'm here looking at Abe, and Abe's talking. He's like, yeah, so, you know, we were doing this and that, roach on the wall. And then I was like, what? And I look over and it's like crawling down right here.
like literally in between us, it's just like,
yeah.
and then we were like leaving to go to the show, like the day of the show, and Will like hits my amplifier head, and then like roaches like jump out of it. I'm like, oh my god.
They were
Rolling
in
up to
his
the
head.
venue with a bunch of roaches.
Rolling up to the
Jesus.
venue with a cabinet full of roaches.
Selling merch.
You could have been
with
you could've
t-shirts
got
with
like a
roaches.
DJ name from that, like Dead Mouse, bro.
I know,
You hear
cabinet
about that
full of
story?
roaches. No.
Did he
Dead
sell
Mouse,
a
how Dead Mouse got his name.
Tell us,
Dead Mouse
Will,
5?
and educate us.
I'm fairly certain he was like DJing or doing some shit like that, and a mouse like literally got into like the
electronics,
electricity
yeah.
and killed itself from biting like the wires and stuff. So he went by Dead Mouse.
That's cute.
Isn't that crazy?
Kind of
It's actually really
Sad.
funny.
Yeah.
Good job, Will.
Moment in history of the ride back, 'cause Seamus has-
Oh yeah. Okay. So with the Arizona trip, I play in another band called Pretty Ugly, and we had a show the day before. So I flew up
Oh yeah.
the morning of the show
Mhm.
and rode back with him and Jimmy in their car. And he drives like an old shitty Mercedes that's really small. And so for 5
It's like
to
a
6
I don't know where the
hours,
like a
shitty had to come in. Like
2012,
that's
like-
gonna.
this is what I had to deal with the entire
Oh
time.
my god.
Oh,
Yeah, have you not seen
I
that?
didn't know that.
This is what the car ride back was like.
Literally,
It was-
we had to
Bro.
make him sit and then put all our
Yeah.
shit
Abe-
on top of him.
Abe and I were like driving away while they were like packing the car.
Yeah.
And then Abe, believe it or not, actually, we were like, Jack, you got to go to a real doctor for your hip because his hip's always fucked up. And then Abe goes, yeah, like not like a chiropractor. And then she was like, that is a real doctor. And then Abe's like, okay, well, actually, technically, he goes, actually, I don't have time. It was the only time where Abe was like, I'm not going to tell the story.
I actually don't want to talk.
Get the fuck out
Well,
of here.
now I can tell you guys, chiropractors, it was all based on. It was just like guys in like the 1800s. That,
I just heard that recently. Is
Yeah.
that serious?
Yeah, it's true. 100% true.
It's like I'm just gonna yank your arm real quick and
Yeah, it was just like it. They just are professional, like.
yank
You
your
know.
Back crackers.
So yeah, after that we have a show on the 24th. It's a festival at the Lucky Strike.
What kind of festival?
Oh
It's a
yeah, tell
festival.
us
It's a
about
charity.
it.
Yeah, it's a charity. It's a charity festival, and it's benefiting the American
American Foundation for Suicide
for
Prevention.
suicide prevention. Yeah, and yeah, we're gonna be doing a lot of auctions. There's gonna be a lot of like, you're gonna recognize names when you go to this show. Like we haven't announced the people that are gonna be there yet. That announcement's gonna come out on Friday, but there's gonna be some pretty
Pimps.
recognizable names and pretty recognizable pimps there, and
Jeez.
yeah.
Oh
and,
boy.
I know, right? And that same day is when our next single comes out, Shapeshifter.
Ooh.
Yeah. So Shapeshifter comes out that day, and then then we have the rest of the songs coming out every like 4 or 5 weeks after that. So
Damn, you guys are busy.
yeah,
Gotta
we are
be.
busy.
Lots
We also
coming up.
just got asked to play this thing. It's called PAC at UCLA. It's like
Oh,
a
yeah.
AIDS awareness thing,
Mhm.
AIDS and HIV awareness thing.
Mhm.
And it's a benefit for that. And so we got asked to play, and so we're gonna be playing that. I have no further details on when it is, but it'll be cool.
Nice.
And yeah, lots of stuff. Mason Music Festival in April.
Oh, yeah. That'll
April
be fun.
19th and
Jeez.
20th.
Yeah, April 19th and 20th, 2 days.
Both dates.
Both
Yeah,
dates.
playing both days.
National holiday.
Yeah.
I'm missing
Earth
a
Day.
Primus show that day, which I'm kind of bummed about, but like,
Ooh.
festival's pretty sick.
It is. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be rad. And yeah, we're doing all that. We're releasing those songs, and then continuously writing and experimenting with music and stuff.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. And backtracking a teensy tiny bit, let's reflect on your last year-ish. What have been some of you guys' like favorite highlights or projects or accomplishments that you've done in the last year?
Of
or
last
so?
year?
Or so. Yeah.
I got it. For me, it's kind of an easy one. I think this is the first time we've like really worked with like a producer who completely understands our genre and understands the vision we're going for. So getting like Fiend, all that stuff back after we recorded it, it's crazy because it's us playing, but like it doesn't even like, I'm like, dude, there's no way that's like, there's no way we sound that good. And it's that, and like it's the same feeling of like when you write a song like and it's like done in 5 minutes and you're like, oh, that's so good. You know what I mean? Like there's no better feeling than that for me. So yeah, I'd have to say like getting those recordings back was like huge for us.
Cool. I love that song.
I mean, we just played a lot of shows, and we got a lot of new, like, genuine fans, which is sick. Even though this wasn't necessarily last year, but it was, like, from the video that we posted that kind of popped off, this one girl just commented on it, and she was like, oh, I really like your guys' music. Like, I'm going to see if I can come to your Arizona show. And then she actually did.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, she was like, yeah, I drove 2 hours to come to this show.
Well, I think a lot of people. I think it's
psychotic?
weird.
Like,
No,
What?
they love you.
No, it's sick. I think it's sick, but I was just like, it was the first time we'd ever like
It's like it's
had
happening.
Yeah.
something where it's like, wow, you're like a genuine fan.
Shout out Angel.
Yeah.
Yes,
Go.
Angel.
I think the weirdest thing about social media is I think a lot of people they're aware that there are people, but I don't think they really realize that these are other like people. Like you
Right.
have your account and like that's what's important to you when you go on and you follow people and you're like, oh, they just post. Like it's like they're all NPCs, like they're supposed to do this. But it's like seeing that, I mean, that's like the initial, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's
I
the
know,
initial
yeah.
feeling.
Oh yeah.
So seeing someone pull up in person and be like, yeah, I liked your video. Is this, was that? I was like, oh my God, like this
It's
is
wild.
weird.
It's
This
like
is
seeing like
really
a cartoon
weird.
character
Yeah,
come out of a TV.
kinda.
or something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's super weird. That's cool though.
You
Jack?
took mine. You took mine, Seamus. So,
Same
Jack.
brain cell.
I'll
James almost
say
twice
I'll back that one up. Something that I liked in 2023. Sorry, it's not Hunted related, but I enjoyed joining on and playing with another band named Dust.
Woo!
They're
Oh,
super
yeah.
dope. We've played a few shows with them, and they mix well with our sound. And I'm really looking forward because going on this year, we're going to be playing more shows with them. So I'm excited to pull double time. Play 2 sets.
Yo.
Double
Welcome
duty.
to my world.
Yeah. I guess everything I got out of this past year that was cool was out of this band. Like, that's all. Yeah, it was cool, and playing shows, like, that's why I got sucked into the band. Was just like I wanted to play shows, and I wanted to get out and do something, and not be like, oh, I wish I could do this. Oh, I wish I could do that. And it's like, no, now we're doing it. Now we're doing it, and it's fun. And I'm not like, like if a show is canceled, it's like you don't play a lot of shows, and it's a huge bummer. Mm-hmm. But if a show's canceled and you're playing a lot of shows, it's like that kind of sucks. But we have a show next
time
week.
for the next one. Then.
Yeah.
We have a show next weekend, and like it doesn't bother you as much.
That's true.
Because it's like, there's a bunch of other shows that are coming up.
Abe has more shows than he knows what to do with now.
Yeah. I got shows on shows on shows, dude.
True.
So, that was cool. Releasing the song, just everything. Meeting a bunch of people, like, on the tour. Like, everybody that we've gotten to meet over the past year, like, while I've been in Hvnted, is rad. Super cool. Yeah. That's the cool thing. What about you, Hannah? What have you? What's the coolest thing in the past year?
I mean, I went on tour too. That was.
Oh yeah.
That was nuts.
The Talks Hard October tour.
The Talkstober October tour.
Yeah.
It was.
That's too much, but that's
That's hilarious. That's totally them though. Like,
Yeah,
I know. When
perfect
Alan
for
sent
them.
me the name, I was like, I smell burning toast.
Yeah.
It was great. I mean, like, same as you guys. It was pretty crazy, like, seeing those fans.
How long was it?
It was like 3-ish weeks, and it was far. Like, we started in Detroit, and it was all over, like, Midwest, East Coast.
How many shows were like packed in those 3 weeks? It was like 14, wasn't it?
There were
Something crazy.
11. It was 11 shows. So it wasn't that jam packed.
Am I crazy to say that Michigan would be like a hometown show for them? Are they from Michigan,
it
right?
was. Yeah, Alan is. So yeah, that was like a hometown show for him. And then Casey's from Indiana, and we did an indie show, so like all his family and stuff came. But it was fun, but it was really exhausting. I feel like I'm still recovering. Like, so tired. So I think that was probably like my cool thing. I also got to see Ghost twice.
Fire.
And it was really good. They had
Nice.
backup dancers.
Wow.
Nice.
And it was
need
really
backup
cool. They
dancers.
lifted him up into the air while he was singing like a princess. I was like, what is happening? And I was in the pit. It was great. But yeah, it was a cool year. And I'm doing this. This is fun.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Go up to the stage from the pit and be like, uppies, me next.
Please. No, I would have been like,
Wait, what
shocked.
made you want to make a podcast?
I love podcasts. I watched a lot of them. I love Tana Mojo's, Trisha Paytas. I love Brittany Broski's podcast, and I like that it's content that's really like low effort. Like, we can just sit.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the editing is like a thing, but it's not the worst, and nobody else is doing it. Like, in this.
Nobody else has a podcast.
Nobody else has a podcast,
Yeah,
and I
nobody else
feel
has a
like
podcast.
he's hungry. There's been a lot of times in my life where like when YouTube was really big, I was like, oh, I want to start a channel. Never did, and I was like, shit, I missed it. And then same with TikTok. I was like, oh, I really want to like be really into TikTok. Missed it, and I was like, all right, I got it this time. I'm
jumping
doing
on
the
board
podcast.
now,
Yeah, and me and my friends are always like, we should start a podcast. Like, we're
Yeah.
so funny. And then I was like, nobody wants to hear me yap about my day to day. I mean, like, it's funny to me, but probably not to
The
anybody
general
else.
public.
All right, guys, let's wrap up by you telling our listeners where they can find you on socials and streaming.
Hvnted Band, all platforms ever. And
How
then
do you spell hunted?
HVNTED band.
Look, give them a visual.
We should also
Everywhere.
say It's hunted, not haunted.
Haunted.
Yeah.
It's Hvnted.
If you say Hvnted, that's okay though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll accept that.
HVNTED band. BAND. Common spelling. On Instagram and stuff, and then the same thing on Spotify and Apple Music. And then Will
Did you
is
flinch?
no,
Did you just flinch?
no.
I picked my hand up. You're like,
I wanted to get up. William being weird, but this is Will Hvnted Will on Instagram, Hvnted Seamus, and that's HVNTED SEAMUS. on Instagram.
Good friend.
Yes. And then Hvnted Jack.
Yeah, see, we're all in uniform. What's yours?
Yeah, why is yours? When are you gonna become
And
Hunted
mine is Abe Flores guitar.
That is so lame. That needs to change.
He's keeping his options open.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When's Hvnted Abe coming
Hvnted
around?
Abe. Well, when I hit my year birthday in the band,
So dumb.
Why don't you just make a second account?
that is my second account. My Abe Flores guitar.
Oh, you have like a personal.
Yeah.
Oh.
And like that's like my
What's
close
another
friends
one?
list.
I
Oh.
don't even know if I follow.
I was like,
No,
damn.
no one does.
Oh,
Yeah.
fine.
Private.
Well, anyways, that's where you can find them. Give them a little follow. Give them a listen, and they have a
What?
bunch
Your
of
hands
shows
are so
coming up.
clammy,
Stop
dude.
fiddling with each other behind me.
That was him. His hands are clammy.
On that note, goodbye.
Feet are weird too.
Later.
Move your fucking foot.